everyone, this is Phoebe with Love Relationships Real Talk. So we're continuing this conversation about what role you play in your love relationships. And I did a video where I introduced 6 different roles. The name of that video is How to Master the Role You Play in Your Love Relationship. So I've gotten so many questions and so many comments about the roles that I suggested, and I thought it would be really good for us to dive deeper into these roles and to really look at how we can maximize the assets and the advantages that we bring into a relationship and how to shift or maneuver the disadvantages that come with each particular role, because there's a good and bad to every role. And if you're anything like me, thinking that you are a close to perfect partner, then it's really hard to focus on what things you bring into a relationship that actually don't work for the relationship or don't work for your partner. The first role that I wanted to expand the conversation with is the role of the coach. So I got a question and I wanted to pair that question with the particular role that we're discussing. So I'll do that for each role in the future for future videos. So here's the question. My partner leaves everything to me. Everything we do and everywhere we go. All of those plans are left to me. He tells me that that's my strength and that's why he lets me do it. But it's so much of a burden for me to have to do everything, and then I don't feel like my partner is doing anything at all to feed or nurture the relationship by planning things for us to do together. So the question left the viewer with this dilemma. How do they stop getting locked into the roles that they play with one another? She goes on to say that they've had arguments about this very thing over the years, and it never changes anything. She continues to do everything, and he continues to let her. So you would think that the obvious thing here is to say, stop doing everything and let him do some things. That is somewhat of an answer. However, I also believe that we should look deeper into what things you do bring to the relationship dynamic and how to maximize those things, how to keep doing those things without feeling like your partner is taking advantage of those things. If you're anything like me, you're that kind of person who doesn't mind doing things, who doesn't mind giving of themselves within the relationship. But as soon as your partner starts expecting you to do those things, then it becomes a problem. I'm kind of guessing that this is the point that the viewer has gotten to, because they're getting tired of having the burden of everything put on their shoulders. And yet they've actually created the situation because that's the way they started the relationship. That's the way they've maintained the relationship for several years. So now their partner is just used to them having to do everything and not having to make plans and not have to do anything in order for them to have fun or for them to, have experiences in their relationship that are memorable or enjoyable or whatever the case might be. I see this role being played out in so many of my friends. I've seen it with past clients when we're doing relationship coaching, where you have a person in the relationship that plays the role of the coach, and then they feel like when they get to a point when they feel like they're not being taken care of, their needs aren't being taken care of, then they start to burn out and they actually start to become somewhat of a detriment for the family because they're the one who's doing all the nagging. They're the ones who are feeling short-tempered. They're the ones who are not taking care of themselves health-wise. They're the ones who are not addressing issues that they have, and therefore their internal struggle starts to leak out onto other members of the family. So this is your standard. If you don't take care of yourself first, if you don't put that oxygen mask over yourself first as the plane's going down, then you can't take care of anyone else that you would care to take care of in any type of situation. So for the coach, we want to make sure that we are having our own needs addressed in the process of being all of those things we bring to our relationship dynamic. And so we have to be able to verbalize those things. We have to be able to voice those things. And sometimes we don't speak into existence what it is that we want for ourselves, what we hope for ourselves, what we might even need, is because we might not think that we deserve them. And we're hiding out behind our partner's needs. We might not think that they are important enough or that they measure up to the needs of other people, the other person in the relationship dynamic. So there are a lot of reasons, a lot of payoffs that we get by ignoring our own needs or making sacrifice after sacrifice after sacrifice to the detriment of ourselves. So we have to figure that out first. And then we can start vocalizing what it is that we need to our partner and helping the transition, because there's a transition that's going to happen. Everybody in the relationship dynamic is used to the coach acting in a particular way and really just holding up everything that exists within the relationship dynamic. And when they put their hands to their sides and rest or relax or start focusing on themselves, then, there's a transition period that definitely has to occur. So look out for that. Be patient with yourselves. Have conversations to inform your partner of these things. Don't just say, I ain't doing nothing else. Don't just cold turkey the situation, because that's not going to work either. So for the coach, continue being who you're being in terms of the assets that you bring, and also look at the reasons why you choose to sacrifice yourself for the greater good of the team, and notice that that sacrifice is at some point in time will become a detriment to the relationship dynamic. So good luck. I hope this answered your questions. Be sure to check in to look deeper into the role of the star player in our next episode of Love Relationships Real Talk. And don't forget, subscribe to my channel, leave your comments, and like my videos. See you next time.